Good morning. I am Dr. Paul Ajit Kumar, Assistant Professor of Botany from Bishopur College, Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu. Title is deoxyribonucleic acid. Shortly, it's DNA. So let me go to the introduction. As we know that Earth is covered by living and non-living things. In living organisms, plants and humans plays a vital role to Earth. Both plant and human body are made up of organs. For humans, the organisms include lungs, kidney, heart, brain, liver, etc. Whereas plants have leaves, stem, and the root. So organs consist of tissues like a simple and complex tissues. So tissues are made up of cells. In turn, cells are made up of nucleus and cell organelles. In plants, that organelles such as mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, and ribosomes are present. Presence of nucleus, that living organism is divided into two categories. One is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes means, pro means false. So these organism doesn't have a nucleus. And come to the eukaryotes, U means true. So these organism have a true nucleus. So that living organism basically divided into two categories. One is the prokaryotes and then eukaryotes, based on the presence of nucleus and the absence of nucleus. So this slide shows the nucleus consists of nuclear envelope, chromatin, and nucleolus. The three parts have a nucleus. So already I told, based on the presence and absence of nucleus, living organisms can be divided into two categories. One is a prokaryotic and another one is eukaryotic. So this picture shows the presence of DNA. We know that DNA, where it is come from. Okay, the chromosomes, nothing but it is a dense DNA. Okay. Next slide shows that what is DNA. DNA is a group of molecules that is responsible for carrying genetic information from one generation to another generations. Most of the organisms have DNA. So this is also true for viruses, as most of these entities have either RNA or DNA as their genetic material. For instance, some viruses may have RNA as their genetic material, while others have DNA as their genetic material. Apart from being responsible for the inheritance of genetic information in all living beings, DNA also plays a crucial role in the production of proteins. Nuclear DNA is the DNA contained within the nucleus of every cell in eukaryotic organism. It codes for the majority of the organisms' genomes, while the mitochondrial DNA and the plasmid DNA handles the rest. It means the DNA have divided into two types of DNA. One is a mitochondrial DNA, which is present into the mitochondria of plants, and another one is plastid DNA or chloroplast DNA. So this DNA presents in the chloroplast of the plants. So mitochondrial DNA and chloroplast DNA and nuclear DNA. Coming to the mitochondrial DNA, the DNA present into the mitochondria of the cell is termed as mitochondrial DNA. It is inherited from the mother to child. In humans, there are approximately 60,000 base pairs of the mitochondrial DNA. Similarly, chloroplasts have their own DNA and they have play an essential role in photosynthesis of plants. So coming to the full form of DNA, DNA is known as deoxyribonucleic acid. It is an organic compound that has an unique molecular structures. It is also present in prokaryote cells and the eukaryotic cells. Coming to the discovering of DNA. Who discovered the DNA? In 1869, Meissner discovered that nuclein in the cells from pus, and later he separated it into a protein and an acid molecule. It came to known as nucleic acid after 1874. In 1926, Levin proposed a tetranucleotide theory, which states that nucleic acid consists of only 4 90 days. It gives 4 different nucleotides on hydrolysis. So this is the later, Rosalind Franklin used X-ray crystallography, which is helped to visualize the structure of DNA, because we cannot see in our naked eye of the DNA. So that Rosalind discovered that X-rography for the visualizing the DNA. Okay. Later, we are all know that Watson and Crick, it is a famous model of DNA. It is none other than it's a double helix model. Okay. So DNA structure can be thought of like a twisted layer. This structure is described as a double helix, as illustrated in the figure above. Okay, so DNA is the double helix model. Coming to the next slide, the nucleotide monomers in a DNA that are connected by strong magnetic attractions. So called phosphodiester bonds. Look at that image. So this image shows that two ladder, okay, which is connected by some bonds. So each ladder is called as a nucleotide. Okay, so this nucleotide connected by the polymer. Okay, polymer means is the number of monomer. Okay, the connection of monomer is called the polymer. So each nucleotide is called polymer. So that DNA is a polymer. So these two nucleotide is connected by the phosphodiester bonds. Okay, so these phosphodiester bonds is a part of larger class of electromagnetic attractions between the atoms that chemists refer to as a covalent bond. So this nucleotide is connected by the electromagnetic attractions. Okay, so these attractions may be called as a covalent bonds. Okay. So these are the things. And nucleotide contains, already I told, or already I mentioned in the previous slide, nucleotide is a polymer. Okay, so nucleotide contains 3 main groups. One is the phosphate group, sugar group, and a nitrogen base. Okay, so this is that. Imagine this is the nucleotide. So this nucleotide is having phosphate group and then sugar group. So this sugar group connected into the nitrogen base. Okay. So coming to the sugar. Sugar is the backbone of the DNA. So the backbone of the DNA is based on a repeated pattern of the sugar group and the phosphate group. The full name of DNA, already I mentioned, the deoxyribonucleic acid, gives you the name of the sugar, present deoxyribose. Okay. Deoxyribose is a modified form of another sugar called ribose. I'm going to give you the structure of the first because you will need it later anyway. Ribose is the sugar, the backbone of RNA, that is called the ribonucleic acids. So this diagram misses out the carbon atoms in the ring for clarity. Each of the 4 corners where there is not an atom shows the carbon. Okay, so the heavier lines are coming out of the screen or paper towards you. In other words, you are looking at the molecule from a bit above the plane of ring. So that's ribose. So deoxyribose, as the name might suggest, is ribose which has not oxygen atom. So that means it's called deoxy. The only other thing you need to know about deoxy is how the carbon atoms in the ring are numbered. Okay. The carbon atom to the right of the oxygen, as we have drawn, the ring is given in the number 1. Here, that number 1. And then you work around to the carbon on the CH2OH side group, which is number is 5. So you will notice that each of the numbers has a small dash, by it 3 dash or 5 dash. Sometimes it's called 3 prime or 5 prime, for example. If you just had ribose or deoxyribose on its own, that wouldn't be necessary. But in a DNA or an RNA, these sugars are attached to other ring compounds. The compounds in the sugar are given the little dashes so that they can be distinguished from the numbers given to the atoms in other rings. You read 3 dash or 5 dash as 3 prime or 5 prime. Phosphate group. The other repeating part of the DNA backbone is a phosphate group. The phosphate group is attached into the sugar molecule in place of the OH group on the 5' carbon. You may find other versions of these with varying degrees of ionization. You may find hydrogen attached instead of having a negative charge on one of the oxygens, or the hydrogens removed from the top OH to leave the negative ions there as well. So next part of the DNA or nucleotide is nitrogen bases. So these are called bases because that is exactly what they are in chemical terms. They have lone pairs of nitrogens and so can act as an electron pair donors. This isn't particularly relevant to their functions in DNA, but they are always referred to as a basis anyway. So DNA molecules consist of 4 nitrogen bases, namely adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, which is ultimately forms the structure of a nucleotide. So they are divided into 2 groups, nitrogen bases. One is the pyrimidines and the purines. Pyrimidines made up of 6-member ring. So pyrimidines again divided into thymine and cytosines. Another group is purines. So purines made up of a 6-member of ring, but here that fused to a 5-member rings. So these purines is divided into 2 categories. One is adenine and then guanine. So these rings are not only made of carbons. Okay, so both the purines and then pyrimidines differs as they have carbon rings, either single or double. So coming to the Chargaff rules. What is a Chargaff rules? Chargaff's rules states that DNA from any cell of any organism has a 1:1 ratio of pyrimidine and purine bases, and more specially that the amount of guanine, a purine base, is equal to cytosine. Cytosine is a pyrimidine base. So, and the amount of adenine is a purine base, is equal to thymine. Thymine also pyrimidine base. So, a base pair is composed of a pyrimidine base and a purine base. This pattern is found in both the strands of DNA. So, and is responsible for the base pairing rule, which states that adenine always pairs with thymine and guanine always pairs with cytosines. So the 2 strands. So these 2 strands of DNA run in opposite directions. The strands are held together by the hydrogen bond that is present between the 2. The strands are helically twisted. where each strand forms a right-handed coil and 10 nucleotides make up a singleton. And the pitch of each helix is 3.4 nanometer, and hence the distance between two consecutive base pairs is 0.34 nanometer. Now coming to the DNA types, there are three different DNA types. One is aDNA. It is a right-handed double helix when compared to the bDNA. bDNA is nothing but it is a Watson-Crick model. So normal DNA is a bDNA. When compared to the bDNA, aDNA is a right-handed double helix. Okay, and the dehydrated DNA takes an A form that protects the DNA during extreme conditions such as desiccations. Protein building also removes the solvent from DNA, and the DNA takes an A form. This is a A model, and the next one is bDNA. This is the most common DNA conformation, and it is a right-handed helix. Majority of DNA has a B type. Already I mentioned in the previous slide. So B type conformation under the normal physiological conditions. And final type of DNA is called zDNA. zDNA is a left-handed DNA where the double helix wings to the left is a zigzag pattern. It was discovered by Anders Wang and Alexander Lewis. It's found ahead of the start site of a gene and hence is believed to play some role in the gene regulation. Already I mentioned that is the DNA. This is zigzag DNA. So DNA functions. DNA plays a vital role in every living organism. So DNA, already I told, DNA stores the information from one generation to another generation to carry that genetic informations. So here the DNA stores the informations is to build and control these cells. The transmission of this information from mother to daughter cells is called a vertical gene transfer, and it occurs through the process of DNA replications. DNA replication is that nothing but it is a DNA multiplications. DNA multiplied from mother to daughter DNA. So DNA is replicated when a cell makes duplicate copy of its DNA. Then the cells divide, resulting in the correct distribution of the one DNA copy to each resulting cell. DNA can also be enzymatically degraded and used as the source of nucleosides, nucleotides for the cell. Unlike other macromolecules, DNA does not serve the structural role of the cell. So thank you for each and everyone, those who watched in this video. Thank you.